I saw his shelter. Pretty large shelter. Nice.
All right, guys, whoever's coming, let's head out to the parking area.
I couldn't remember.
Smile, you're on YouTube.
Model release forms will be made available shortly.
Not really. All right, cool. All right, guys, so we're not just going to do edible plants, we're going to do medicinal plants a little bit and also utility plants. A lot of the plants have several uses. So right here we're going to start out, I don't know if anyone has noticed these on the way in. They're very, very small. These are all first year. Does anybody know what these are? Some of you may have this in your garden.
Sorry.
Tiny ferns.
This is yarrow. A lot of people grow this in their gardens and they have varieties with really pretty yellow or pink or purple flowers. These wild ones, the first year you just get a rosette like you see here. The second year they grow a flower stalk with very, very pretty small white flowers. And if you just take a leaf or part of a leaf and crush it up between your fingers and smell it, that's the easiest way to definitely identify this because nothing smells like this. It smells very nice. I love the smell. And this is not edible, but you can make a weak tea out of it to get some vitamins. But if you want to use it medicinally, it's very, very strong as far as medicinals are concerned. So for medicinals, the easiest thing that I like to do is if I get cuts, because I'm all cut up from working on my shelter back there and stuff, if I'm going to treat the cut, I'll crush this up to get some of the juice out, put it on the cut, put a bandage over that, and this acts like Neosporin. It's antibiotic. So it'll kill all the germs, help it heal faster. And then what you notice is it starts to change color. It starts to turn more of like a greenish, tannish color. When it changes color, you know all the juice is gone, and you take it out, clean the wound, crush up some more, redo it again, reapply it. You can keep doing that. If you have a very, very high fever, you can use a small pump full of this, put it in hot water, make it tea to drink the tea, and this lowers fevers very, very quickly, within a half hour. I've used it on myself when I've had the flu and things like that, and I had 103 and it knocked it down to 99 in 30 minutes. Wow. I would not use it on kids unless you're very, very careful because it is strong stuff, and you don't want to use it repeatedly because I don't know what it is exactly, I don't remember what it is, but something in it makes your skin sensitive to sunlight when you drink the tea. So if you drink the tea for a fever and the next day you went out in the sun, you get crazy sunburns all over your body. It makes your eyes sensitive to light too. So you have to watch that. That's like the only side effect. It'll go away, yeah, it's like a 24-hour kind of thing and it wears off, yeah. So those are great uses for that. Now, if you mix that with another one that I'm going to show you now in a minute, you can make something that's also great for if you have a cold in the winter. So this is just alone, it's great for relieving fevers, but if you mix it with things, it's like a cold tonic. So I'm going to bring you guys right there to the roses. You guys notice these on the way in?
Yeah.
They're all along the driveway here. So these are wild roses. I don't know the exact species, but with a lot of these plants, if you just know the family, the uses are all the same across the board. Near me, we have the wrinkled rose that grows wild, but the thing is, if you have any type of rose, if you do not pick the roses or cut them off, those roses will become the rose hips, which are like the seeds of the rose plant. And you can pluck these off. Once they're all red, they're ripe. Pluck them off. They're very, very high in vitamin C, so they're great as just a nibble. They're very, very lovely. And by the way, I'm not allowed to let you guys try anything. So if you're going to taste it, don't let me see. Okay?
But they also have stickers in the middle of them.
You can rub those off with your thumb.
Oh, okay.
Most species don't have that. Whatever species this is, yeah, they have a little bit of the hairs on them. But you can rub those off, no big deal.
Okay.
So inside this, if you were to cut it in half, the outside has a thin skin, followed by flesh around that, and then the inside is all seeds. The seeds are kind of hairy. You don't want to eat the seeds. You're not going to get vitamins, and they're bitter, and it messes up your throat. It makes your throat scratchy. So I just nibble around the outside. What I do a lot of the time also, though, is I'll pick a bunch of these, and I'll quarter them, and I take my finger and I scrape the seeds out, and I'll put them in my dehydrator and dehydrate them and use them later on for teas. I put them in trail mix. And I love the taste of them. There's all different species all around. Oh, the tea with the yarrow. If you mix the yarrow with rosehip tea, that's a great cold tonic for the wintertime. That's the main reason that I collect these to dehydrate them, so I have that in the winter when I'm like out shoveling snow, whatever. I come in, I make a cup of the tea, and that way I don't get sick, hopefully. And the yarrow will be on the ground there all winter. It'll still be there. But these will start to shrivel away, and the birds and animals eat them. So you want to pick these now and prepare them now.
Yarrow you can buy for like a house plant too, can't you?
Yeah. People have all different varieties of different color flowers of the yarrow in their gardens. My mom has it in her backyard too. Any questions so far? Anything? No? All right, let's head like up that way. I want to try to go up that trail over there. This is a very pretty unknown plant. Most people haven't seen this or heard of it because they're so small. These are called Canada Mayflower, and they like to grow in woodlands, and they're very, very small. They're very easy to pass by. And the cool thing is this time of the year, you have these kind of scarlet colored berries, and they taste like cranberry sauce. So I was reading about these and the history behind these, and like in the 1800s, people would have Thanksgiving dinner, and afterwards people would sometimes go for a walk in the forest with their dog or whatever and pick these up and eat them, and they taste like cranberry to kind of go with their dinner. It's kind of a funny thing. They have seeds in them, so you kind of have to like get the juice out and spit the seeds out, but you're planting new ones anyway. But they're very small and dainty.
And what is it called?
Canada Mayflower. And they're yummy. They're very good. Not supposed to try them. Don't let me see. The boss is going to bring down the hammer. Real quick also, all around us, these are bracken fern. You've all heard of fiddleheads probably?
Yeah.
My supermarket in my town, it's a Stop and Shop, actually had fiddleheads for sale in the produce department this spring. I was totally shocked about that. But when they're big like this, you can't eat them, but in the spring when they're first coming up and they're still curled up in the fiddlehead shape, you can boil those and eat those. In small amounts though, I forget what it is about them, but you don't want to eat large amounts of fiddleheads. So I think we can probably head back down the parking area, and I want to hook around to the left there. So this is milkweed, guys. Again, very common. You break off any part of the plant, the milky juice drops out, and there's all different edible parts, but medicinally, what I like to do, and I've never seen anybody else do this before, what I've figured out is, by getting the sap on me, if you don't rub it off right away, it forms like this clear kind of coating, and it's almost like liquid bandage if you ever use that. So when I get cut sometimes out in the wood, I'll like put it on there, let it dry, and it forms a protective coating, and you can reapply that whenever you want to make it thicker. It's like liquid bandage though, it's pretty awesome. And when they're growing, when they're smaller, when they're first coming up in the spring, until they're about this high, you can strip the leaves off, take the stem, boil that, and it tastes like green beans.
Oh.
And what you want to do, you want to boil that to get all the sap out, because this sap is, it's not poisonous, but it gives some people stomach cramps and upset stomach a little bit. So you boil that, and all of the sap goes out in the water, and then you get rid of the water when you're done. Or if you want to save the water, if you have like athlete's foot or something with your skin, you can soak them in that water with the milkweed juice, and this cures athlete's foot. It cures funguses. So you can use it for that. When it gets taller, when it's still growing though, but it gets taller, the top part you can lop off and still cook that like the way I told you. Tastes like green beans. Now when they get bigger like this, they flower. They have very, very, very pretty purple flowers on them. And the flowers you can cut off and make them into fritters. Dip them in pancake batter or whatever, cook those, and they're milkweed fritters. And those are awesome also. I made those a bunch of times. And once you get the flowers, you get these, they look almost like little horns, but they're seed pods that grow. And there'll be a cluster of them up top here. And those seed pods, when they're first developing, if you pick them when they're little, you can open them up, and the inside of it, it's like the consistency of cheese. And you can make your eggs, and you can put the stuff in with the eggs, and it's almost like melted cheese with your eggs. So that's kind of a cool thing.
There's some dried ones up the road.
When we first came in camp? Or before that?
Down before that. So
okay.
maybe if we can gather some and bring it to tomorrow.
If they're dry though,
Yeah.
then you can't eat them anymore when they're dry though. That's the thing.
Oh.
So there's different stages to the development of the little the seed pods. When they're little, you can use them like I just told you with the eggs or whatever. When they get bigger, you really can't eat them anymore. But then you can use the inside floss as insulation. You can use it for adding to your tinder to start your fire, things like that. And then the coolest part to me is in the fall when this all starts to die out, you collect the stalks. And it's got a pithy center to it, surrounded by a fibrous outside sheath. And what I do is I'll take it and I'll go crack, 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 crack all the way down, and then I'll split it. And all of the inside stuff kind of peels away, and you're left with the fibers. Makes awesome natural cordage. And you can reverse wrap that, and I've made necklaces out of it. I have, I'm pretty sure, I have a quiver with me. I'm not sure if I made that out of milkweed or not, the strap. But I have quivers at home that have the strap is made of milkweed.
Is it pretty strong?
Very strong.
Okay.
I mean, you can make bowstrings out of it if you make it thick enough.
Wow.
So it's strong. If you do it the right way, it's strong. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome plant to know. A good friend of mine from Cub Scouts, we were in his backyard at a barbecue. Deek was there with me, actually. He was there too. And the guy asked me what it was, and I'm like, that's milkweed. And all he heard was weed. It's a weed! And this has happened to me before. I should learn my lesson by now. But I'm pretty sure they're not there anymore now. It's got weed in the name. It's not a weed. I mean, a weed is just something that you don't want, you know, growing in a certain spot. But it's not a bad plant. This is what monarch butterflies use. The caterpillars eat this. It's very important for the life cycle of the monarch butterfly.
So if you planted those, you could develop a monarch garden. Cool.
They're drawn to it. Yeah, they love it. All right. Anybody ever watch Hunger Games?
Yes.
Remember Katniss got stung by the Tracker Jacker bees?
Yeah.
And she was like passed out with the welts all over her, and that little girl Rue was putting those leaves on her. So this is like the real life equivalent of that. If you chew this up with your molars, it's called a spit poultice. You make a little wad of it, you put that on the sting, and you put a bandage over that, and this kills the pain very, very fast. And it draws the poison out and destroys the poison. So it won't hurt anymore and the swelling goes down. This is great for any kind of stings. You can use it for mosquito bites also. Any skin problems, this is your plant really. And I've used it for bees, hornets, wasps, yellow jackets, and scorpion stings also. I used to have scorpions, and I got stung on my fingernail. My whole hand swelled up. And I put this on that, and right away the pain stopped and the swelling went down. There's two types of plantain that grow around here. There's common, which is more common, and there's a seaside plantain, and they look a little different. The seaside plantain, the leaves are very, very long and narrow, but if you look at it, it's got those veins that go parallel to the leaf, and the seaside has the parallel veins that go like straight along it also. There's none here, but when these get larger, they grow these seed stalks. And the seed stalks you can roast near a fire, nibble those off, and they're good. Or you can grind them up, mix them with oil or butter, and you can make like peanut butter, but it's plantain butter. And you can put them on sandwiches. It's pretty good stuff too.